All right. Well, hello everyone. This is Julian Bibb. I'm chairman of the Franklin Transit Authority. This is our regular meeting agenda for the board of the Franklin Transit Authority. We are beginning on Thursday, May 21st, 2020 at 3:30 p.m. It is a meeting that is taking place by Zoom and teleconference. And with that said, I'm going to call the meeting to order and take a roll call of the board members to make certain that we have established a quorum. And so let me go through the names, and if you are present, please say that you're present. Pearl Bransford.
Present.
Carrie Perkinson.
Present.
Eric McElroy. Debbie Henry, is Eric McElroy absent?
Yes, as far as I know.
All right. Julian Bibb, I'm of course here. Jill Bergen.
Present.
Ashley Roberts.
Ashley must not
Debbie,
be
do you know?
I do
Okay.
not know. Yes.
Chuck Barber.
I'm here.
All right. We do have a quorum. Pearl Bransford, Carrie Perkinson, Julian Bibb, Jill Bergen, and Chuck Barber are present. Debbie, for the record, do you want to announce who from the Transit Authority staff is present?
Absolutely. Stanton Higgs, Shamila Patel, Chase Harper, Kelly Bear, and myself, Debbie Henry.
Well, welcome. Thanks to everyone for being here.
And by the way, Ashley has joined us.
Ashley Roberts, if you'll say you're present, I'm changing you to present.
Oh, can you hear me? I'm
So
here.
Debbie,
There we go. There she
I
is.
can hear you. There we go. All right.
There we
That's
go.
good. All right. Well, thanks everyone for being here. Since we are conducting this meeting by electronic means rather than gathering together, we have a resolution that we've adopted, and the regulations, it's a little bit long, but the regulations require that I read this resolution into the record. And it was approved by the Franklin Municipal Planning Commission, and here is the resolution. And we will need to approve it. A resolution declaring that the Franklin Transit Authority shall meet on May 21, 2020 and conduct its essential business by electronic means rather than being required to gather. A quorum of the members physically present in the same location because it is necessary to protect the health, safety, and welfare of Tennesseans in light of the COVID-19 outbreak. Whereas coronavirus disease 2019, COVID-19, is a severe acute respiratory disease that appears to occur through respiratory transmission, presents with similar symptoms to those of influenza, and can lead to serious illness or death, particularly in the case of older adults and persons with serious chronic medical conditions. And whereas the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has recommended that all states and territories implement aggressive measures to slow and contain transmission of COVID-19 in the United States. And whereas on March 12, 2020, pursuant to the authority granted by Tennessee Code Annotated Section 58-2-101, the governor of Tennessee, Bill Lee, issued Executive Order number 14, declaring a state of emergency to facilitate the response to COVID-19. And whereas on March 13, 2020, the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, declared a national state of emergency with respect to COVID-19. And whereas on March 20, 2020, Mayor Ken Moore issued Executive Order number 2020-01, declaring a state of emergency and civil emergency. And whereas on March 20th, 2020, Governor Lee issued Executive Order number 16 and Executive Order number 34, allowing electronic meetings while continuing to function openly and transparently. And whereas Mayor Moore issued Executive Order number 2020-03, 2020-05, and 2020-07, and 2020-09, and 2020-11, 2020-12, and 2020-13, continuing the state of emergency and civil emergency. And whereas the Franklin Transit Authority believes it is in the best interest of the city of Franklin to conduct the May 21st, 2020 meeting by electronic means, now therefore be it resolved by the Franklin Transit Authority as follows. The meeting scheduled for May 21, 2020 at 3:30 p.m. shall be conducted by electronic means rather than requiring a quorum of the members of the Franklin Transit Authority to attend in person to protect the health, safety, and welfare of Tennesseans in light of the COVID-19 outbreak. Physical access in the meeting room will be limited. The public can participate by dialing in and can view the meeting later as a recording on Franklin TV, the City of Franklin website, the City of Franklin's Facebook page, and the City of Franklin's YouTube account. Specific dial-in and website links can be found on the city's website at https://www.franklinten.gov/components/calendar/events/10277/1092. This resolution will require a roll call vote from the board, and so I'm just going to go down each board member. Pearl Bransford.
Yes.
State if you affirm. Yes. Carrie Perkinson.
Carrie, unmute.
Carrie Perkins.
Carrie?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Julian Bibb votes in the affirmative. Jill Bergen.
Yes.
Ashley Roberts.
Yes.
Chuck Barber.
Yes.
And Julian,
Uh,
Eric is on the line. He is on his phone.
Oh, good. Eric McElroy, glad to have you with us. I'm marking you as present. And so you need to state whether you affirmatively approve the resolution or not.
I wonder if he's having technical difficulty.
All right. Well, the resolution has passed with all the members voting, and if Eric can.
Yes, can you hear me now, Julian?
There we
Now
go.
we can, yes.
Great, perfect. Yes, I agree. I approve.
All right, well then that's great. Debbie, the minutes need to reflect that it was passed unanimously.
Wonderful. Thank you all. Thank you, Julian, for reading that.
Yes, ma'am. I am now going to open the session up for any public comments. If there is any member of the public joining us by electronic means today, and if they have a question or comment, this is the time in the agenda for those comments to be made. Do any members of the public have a comment or question? Hearing none, we'll declare the public comment session closed. And we will move to the minutes of March 19, 2019. And we will need to have a roll call vote to approve those following a motion and a second. And so if someone would make the motion and second, we will move forward with the vote.
Move for approval.
Second.
Thank you. I'm going to go down the list just as I did before. I know it's a little bit awkward for us not being all in the same room, but let me just go back down the board members. Pearl Bransford,
Yes.
Terry Perkinson,
Yes.
Eric McElroy,
Yes.
Julian Bibb votes yes. Jill Bergen,
Yes.
Ashley Roberts,
Yes.
Chuck Barber.
Yes.
Thank you. We're going to talk about some old business, which also includes some good news. And so, Debbie Henry, I will turn this section of the agenda over to you.
Okay, thank you so much. First of all, it's so good to see everybody. Wow. I know it's not what we really like, but this will suffice for now. So thank you all for joining us. We do have some great news to share with you relative to the COVID-19. Good news in COVID-19 we could all use. Since our last meeting in March, a few days after that, and a few days right before our presentation to BOMA Budget and Finance Committee with our draft budget, after a great deal of work from our team and others, all the way from spending time in Washington and regional work and state and local work on this effort, we learned that the Franklin Transit Authority would be a recipient of funds from the Federal Transit CARES Act. And it is basically stimulus money that is dedicated to assist all transit agencies in the United States. To keep them rolling, to keep them moving forward, to be able to provide those essential services that are so necessary for those people who count on transit. So we can now share with you the amount. And the amount that Franklin Transit is going to receive, we've submitted the application, is $6,127,078. This is funding that is 100% to be used for continued operations of transit. The funds do not expire. And once we receive the funds, we can use them for the remaining of this fiscal year. We can definitely use them for next fiscal year and more than likely the fiscal year after that. So taking us all the way into fiscal year 21-22. What this will do, it will be many things, but one thing, it will really assist with easing the City of Franklin's contribution out of their general fund to Franklin Transit during this time period that we do have this funding. Needless to say, this is extraordinary news for our little transit agency. Of course, as the operators and managers of this service on your behalf, you can trust that we will be really great stewards of these funds, and we'll keep you apprised and involved every step of the way as far as how we will be using those funds. And once we receive, once we have them, once we receive the grant, of course, it will be brought to you all for ultimate approval. And so that'll be a good thing. That will be a good thing. So I wanted to give you that information. On the local level, I cannot express how phenomenal our team has been and is as far as, doing the job of providing the essential service, but also making sure that our facilities and our buses and our equipment and each other are disinfected and sanitized, and it's been really interesting to watch. This team has not faltered, not once. They have felt tremendous ownership and responsibility in providing this service. And I want to get Stanton to share with you some of the actual things that we've been doing here just to update you. I know we gave you a little bit of that information in March, but we were just at the cusp of it in March. And so Stanton, do you want to tell us what's happening on the buses and other things? Is Stanton there? Stanton? Oh no. Stanton, are you there? Okay, Chase is going to check on Stanton and see if his muting button is, but anyway, we have done some great things. Our transit buildings and equipment are probably the cleanest in the area, of any in the area. And they get cleaned multiple times. Stanton, are you there? I can't hear him. Can y'all hear Stanton?
No, Debbie, we
Okay.
can't. We can't
No,
hear
we
you.
can't.
Okay. Okay. So are we having, okay, he's just gonna come in here and talk over my shoulder. Okay, Stan, come share the screen with me. We're 6 feet apart.
Yeah, so I think the most important thing to share with you is that we're kind of moving into the phase of reacquainting people back to feel comfortable with getting out and taking transit. So both in preparation for our drivers, the folks that we work with on our maintenance, Carpenter here in Franklin, they started working with us about a month ago about devising a special kind of case unit that would fully protect and keep the drivers comfortable from having any unnecessary kind of interaction with customers if they're coughing and things like that. So they've done a fabulous job. Hopefully when you guys are able to come back and see it, we'll pull a bus up here, but all the drivers within probably another month or so will have an encasement of fiberglass, really well done, so that it just gives them a little bit more protection or feeling of safety from any type of virus that might be out there now and also in the future, because I'm assuming we'll be responding to these type of things in a similar fashion from here on out. And then the second thing we're doing is we're working on also having about 50% of the seats in the bus with also kind of a plexiglass shield for the passengers too. So again, it give them a little bit more of a comfort level that when they're sitting in the buses, you know, we do carry a lot of folks that do fit into the area of being vulnerable, whether it's by age or immune system. So we just feel like from here on out, and there'll be people that will not have any issues riding. And then we'll continue to have people that will have issues, not feeling comfortable that they're protected from germs and things like that. So those, you know, those will be significant things that people can see. We will continue to clean, we'll continue to educate. But in order to kind of welcome people back, I think these two protective, visible things will really make a difference for our riders and for our drivers.
So that is our update on the COVID-19. Thank you so much, Stanton. Do you have any questions?
Debbie, I just want to say how thrilled all the board members are with the CARES Act grant. You all did an excellent job putting together the information. It is a real wonderful grant to receive on behalf of Franklin Transit Authority and all of Franklin. And I also want to thank everybody at the Franklin Transit Authority, the staff, our drivers, all the folks who work to make our public transportation available to the citizens of our community for the incredible job they've been doing.
Well, thank you. It's definitely a team effort here, and everybody has really stepped up. And I just, we've counted on each other, and appreciate your all's leadership in allowing us to move forward and provide this very essential service. The other day, I will tell you this, and then we'll go on. Stanton pulled in. I was up here, but he pulled in, and he said it was just. This is why we do what we do. He pulled in, and there were 7 senior citizens sitting out on the benches out front, and they had been to Independence Square, to Kroger's. They had their groceries, their supplies, their groceries, and they were waiting to take the next bus to then take them on home to their destinations. And, you know, that's kind of, it's just a moment like that is like, okay, that's why we're here. And that's enough, you know. So anyway, but thank you. So that is our update on the old business, Julian.
All right, well, we will move to new business. We have 3 matters to consider, all of which will require an affirmative vote by the board, and we will vote on each one separately.
Hello.
In our last meeting, we talked about the budget at length, and in this meeting, we now have the final Franklin Transit budget to consider. And Debbie, I'll turn that over to you and your team.
Well, thank you so much. Yes, as I mentioned earlier, on April the 9th, we presented the Franklin Transit Authority draft budget that you all had approved to the BOMA Budget Committee, with the understanding that, you know, they would get back to us as far as what the city overall was going to do budget-wise. At the time, we did present the budget we shared, that we had just received word about the Federal CARES Funding Act. The thing we did not share with them, because we did not know it at the time, was the amount. And so, and I will say at this meeting, Eric Stuckey did, and he did this at every budget meeting, made the statement that, you know, there was a feasibility that all budgets could be cut because of just the situation we're all in. So last week, we did receive word that the city of Franklin cut Franklin Transit's general fund contribution by 10%. You know, that's $100,000 for us. And so, but I will tell you that because of the CARES Act, that the budget before you, it does reflect the cut, but also in our revenues, we have included $100,000 from the CARES Act. So we were very fortunate to have these additional funds. And so the budget is basically the budget you approved. And we were able to, and you will see under federal grant funds, you'll see at $100,000. And that was from the CARES Act. We will be putting that in because we will definitely have those funds to put in by the time we go into the fiscal year. So I just wanted to give you a little background about the journey that this budget took. And because as Alderman Bransford knows, the city is going through their, but you know, the consolidated budget now that will be, it will go forward for approval to BOMA. And so, before you is the budget to, our recommendation is that you accept it and approve it.
All right.
Motion to approve as presented.
A second.
Was there a second? Okay, thank you.
Carrie, second.
All right, well, thank you, Carrie. And are there any questions? We had a good bit of questions the last time we talked. We are appreciative to the city of Franklin and, of course, to the CARES Act grant that has helped us meet the budget numbers that we had looked at. If there are any questions, I'll give that time now to board members if they have a question, or we'll proceed to the vote. All right. Let me go down the order of the board. Pearl Blanchard,
Yes.
Terry Perkinson,
Yes.
Eric McElroy,
Yes.
Julian Bibb votes yes. Jill Bergen,
Yes.
Ashley Roberts,
Yes.
Chuck Barber.
Yes.
All right, we will now proceed to the second item, which also will require our vote, and it is the safety plan that is required by the federal government. And so, Debbie, let me let you introduce the Franklin Transit Authority safety plan.
Thank you so much, Julian. For a little bit of background, back in July 18th of 2018, the Federal Transit Administration published the Public Transportation Agency's Safety Plan Final Rule. And what this does is require certain transportation agencies and operators of public transportation systems that receive 5307 funds. You've heard us talk about 5307 funds, and you know we do get those from Federal Transit. We have to develop a safety plan, and that includes processes and procedures that implement safety management systems. This is something new for Federal Transit, and so we are all the transit agencies across the nation that receive this funding are going through this process with the Federal Transit Administration. The deadline for the safety plans is December 31st of this year, and because it's new, the plan will be updated each year and certified annually by the transit agency. So we will be bringing this document to you again next year at this time. I do want to take a sidebar to personally brag on one of our staff, Monty Rodriguez. I believe you all know Monty, and most of you have met him. He has owned this project. He has done a terrific job. He is our safety officer. And this is not something that's been a walk in the park to do, because it's something new. It's something that had required a whole lot of research and digging in. And he and Stanton worked on this, and they have spent a considerable amount of time. But Monty is really taking it to a different level. And he has gone and gotten certifications, and it's just been a tip of hat to him, because it is, and this will be his project going. It is his project, but he'll be the one that will oversee it for us as far as staff is concerned. So this is something that, you know, is checks and balances. And I mean, of course, it's very important for us as a transit agency. And as you can see, it just has different categories. Our safety performance targets that we must meet, management policy, things like this. All of this is kind of how you've heard me say about the triennial review. All of this makes us a better system. And so, so our staff recommendation is that you approve the plan.
Debbie, thank you for that great background. Are there any questions before we vote? Hearing none, let me ask if someone will make a resolution.
No. I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All right, and we will go through the roll call. Pearl Bransford,
Yes.
Carrie Perkinson,
Yes.
Eric McElroy,
Yes.
Julian Bibb votes yes. Jill Bergen,
Yes.
Ashley Roberts,
Yes.
Chuck Barber.
Yes.
Thank you all. It passes unanimously. We are going to the last item, which will require a vote today, and that's the consideration of our updated Title VI plan. And as you all know, Title VI is enacted pursuant to the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and requires our assurance that no person on the basis of race, color, or national origin will be subjected to discrimination in the level and quality of transportation services and transit-related benefits. And as you all know from the policy, it is much broader than that, but that is a capsule summary. And Debbie, let me turn it over to you to bring us up to date on this vote that we're about to take.
All right, well, as we have had we've had a Title VI policy in place for years. And as, again, as somebody that operates transit, obviously federal transit requires this. And so they had a couple of updates. This is housekeeping, really, is what this is. In the policy on page 5, section 5, item 14, Federal Transit Administration asked that their contact information be added. I mean, not just of us, but of everybody's. And so that has been added. Not only is there contact here within Franklin Transit, but there is a contact now, information at Federal Transit. And just for your knowledge, Chase Harper is our Title VI co-coordinator. And so he has very much taken this on as his ownership of this, and again gone to training that's required, and worked with the federal office on making sure that we are all in sync and have our policy up to date. And then additionally, in our Title VI non-discrimination statement, and this is a statement that goes on all of our vehicles. It's in our lobby downstairs. It's on, you'll see it all in several different places as far as we are concerned, because it's required. But originally, before this year, they had the word, you could discriminate because, like Julian said, gender, race, things like that. And then they had sex in there. And so they have made a ruling to remove the word sex. And so then we took that out of ours. And so those are the two updates. And so based upon that, we do recommend that the authority approve our updated Title VI plan.
Debbie, thank you. And thank you for providing all of us the broad amount of materials that you delivered to us on Title VI. Let me open it up for resolution, motion, and a second.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, and I will go back down, roll call. Pearl Bransford?
Excuse me, sorry, Julian, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, this is Mary Cruz Fincher. I'm legal counsel for the city of Franklin.
Yes.
Hi, we had the motion and the second, we need to open it up for discussion if there is any, and then we can vote. Just a technicality, sorry.
Okay. Any discussion by board members? All right, hearing none, I will go through the roll call. Pearl Bransford,
Yes.
Kerry Perkinson,
Yes.
Eric McElroy,
Yes.
Julian Bibb votes yes. Jill Bergen,
Yes.
Ashley Roberts,
Yes.
Chuck Barber.
Yes.
All right, that passes unanimously. We will move to other business, and before I turn it over to Debbie for her executive director report, I want to congratulate Kerry Perkinson, who was approved by the Board of Mayor and Aldermen for a continued term. Kerry, congratulations. Debbie Henry?
Yes, sir.
I will turn it over to you.
All right. Well, I just have a few brief updates to share with you as the contractor and operator of this system for you. You heard me talk earlier about 5307 funding. I'm happy to report that we have received approval for our FY20 5307 funding, which is $1,749,444. And that is excellent news. And want to really thank Shamila and Kelly for all of their work making sure our financials are correct and then submitting that information for our grants and getting our grant applications right and correct and getting them submitted in a timely fashion. I mean, they just really, with having this CARES Act application presented to us and getting it submitted, it wasn't a walk in the park, but they worked on it and got it done and have had it submitted. So that's a very good thing. Speaking of the CARES Act, I did want to let you know, because of our interest in the TMA's Van Pool program, that Williamson County was the recipient, Williamson County's Van Pool and TDM program, it was the recipient of $680,786 under the CARES Act. And speaking of Williamson County, last week at the Williamson County Commission meeting, they approved a new lease for with TMA to lease the 1556 Columbia Avenue facility, the old highway department, which we've been leasing with them for several years for that we call our fleet facility, where the drivers they hub out of and where all of our equipment is. And so we do appreciate that partnership with the county. And then at our last meeting, you will recall that we showed you one of the new transit vehicles. You all got to see that. And currently, as of today, we have completed registration of those vehicles, so they'll soon be out on the road. And lastly, we submitted a DBE report to FTA. This is something that has to be submitted semi-annually. And the report that was submitted was for October 1 through March 31st. So those items have been all submitted, and we will keep you posted and apprised as we go further into the CARES funding process, and of course with our other grants. And like I said, it's just an incredible team. I mean, Stanton has done an outstanding job. We've had to, out of necessity, as far as TMA is concerned, needed to revisit our benefits here and our insurance and things like that. And so Stanton's really led the charge on that with Kelly. They're right with him, and they have really just gotten in there. And now we have it all resolved and have a new carrier, and that's just good news. And but you know, things like that take 10,000 times more time than you ever thought they would. And so, well, it's been an interesting time for us here during this COVID-19. We are, as always, we move Franklin, and we're continuing to move Franklin, and we will move it forward with your leadership. So thank you all so much for what you do, for all being here today, and for giving us the guidance and leadership that really makes a difference in this organization.
Well, Debbie, thank you. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for our staff that is just incredible. And I also want to thank every one of the board members for making the time to participate in this somewhat awkward way to hold a board meeting, at least measured against our face-to-face meetings. And we will all look forward to the time when we can get back together. Before we talk about adjourning, do any of the board members want to raise an issue or make a comment?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. To the director, Debbie, the staff, in that budget, in your budget, were there any compensation, any raises, any additional monies for your staff for 2021?
Yes, we did put a percentage increase for our staff. We sure did, cost of living, and we sure did. We did. It's included.
Yes, I think that's good, because you know, some places are not right now, but
Yeah, that is good.
very good.
We worked hard to do that.
Yes, we need to keep our entry level and our semi-entry level folks employed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there other comments or questions from board members?
I'd like to comment as not only a board member with Franklin, but Debbie and I are board members with the Nashville, the Middle Tennessee Transit Authority. And I'm just so proud of the Franklin Transit Authority and TMA for what they've done and what they've accomplished and how they're now being, it's become a big focus of the entire region to know what we have done here at Franklin Transit. And it makes me very proud of us and very proud, Debbie, of you and Stanton and everyone in the entire crew. It's been a labor of love, I know, but still constantly as we continue to fine tune and reduce our time that it takes to get each of our routes and makes it more and more a real active transit authority that we've all dreamed of. This is a fun time for us. So I just wanted to thank you again and make acknowledgments that Nashville is watching.
Thank you, Kerry.
Other comments or questions from board members?
Well, I like this meeting type. We should always have a quorum.
Yeah.
You don't have to go out and buy new clothes and makeup. So, Mr. Chairman, I'm not opposed to having this in the future.
Well, Ms. Bradford, we would miss your smiling face if we did all these verbal through electronic means.
This is my second meeting.
But this is
my second Zoom meeting today, so I haven't left home at all.
Well, you are a great civic leader for our community, and we appreciate what you do for this board as well as what you do for the entire city of Franklin. Other questions? Well, before I ask for a motion to adjourn, let me remind everybody that our next meeting is scheduled for July 16th at 3:30, and we will update you as the days go by as to whether that meeting will be conducted similarly to this one or whether we will be in person. And again, I so appreciate this board for making the effort to have a successful meeting today under awkward times. And so with that said, let me ask if there's a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Okay.
Discussion? All right, hearing none for the final time, the roll call. Earl Bransford,
Yes.
Terry Perkinson,
Yes.
Eric McElroy,
Yes.
Julian Bibb votes yes, Jill Bergen, Ashley Roberts,
Yes.
Chuck Barber.
Yes.
We stand adjourned. Thank you to everyone who collaborated to make this meeting possible today and to making sure we all had the materials we needed for a successful meeting. I look forward to our next one. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, Julian.
Thank you.
Thank you.